Hello again. Dan Carr here with the Center for Teaching and Learning at the University of Regina. Beside me I have Dave Gray from the Teaching Development Center from the Center for Teaching and Learning here at the University of Regina. And we're going to talk about teaching and learning. And here we go. Hi Dave.
Hey Dan, good to be with you.
Good, good. I guess I'll start by asking how the semester's going.
Well, it's a satisfying semester, actually. I find that at this time of the semester, I'm pretty absorbed in everything. It's nice to have a chance to take a break and look back or look at it from outside a little bit and say, okay, I see some things working and I see some things that I've tried and some things that I want to try again because I don't think they work quite so well.
Oh yeah? So it's a learning experience.
Yeah, yeah.
And a teaching experience.
Yeah, teaching and learning. So one thing that I've been enjoying trying in a couple of different settings this semester is using Skyping in my teaching.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of working and it's sort of strange. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, here let me explain that
Sure.
a little bit. For 2 class periods, I was out of town, and I've tried asking guest speakers to come into class before, and I often feel a little bit dissatisfied because, you know, maybe the speaker has a slightly different agenda than what I'm interested in. So I thought Skype might be a way for me to stay in touch with the class, even though I'm physically absent. So with the Skype technology, one of the things that you can do is have a video conference with your whole class.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried doing that, and it seemed to work reasonably well.
Yeah.
One of the challenges with it is that on the computer that we were using, there's a built-in webcam built into the laptop. And the problem with the built-in webcams is that they don't have a wide angle of vision.
Right.
So I found that quite often I was looking at only part of the class, only some of the students. And then I would have to ask a student to lift the whole laptop if I wanted to pan out.
Right.
So I think that's a technological problem that maybe could be overcome by just purchasing an external webcam that maybe has a better sort of
Field
a
of
lens,
vision, yeah.
field of vision.
Yeah.
And another way that I tried working around that was by having the students then divide into groups, each group had its own laptop.
Oh, how'd that work?
Yeah, well that was a little bit more satisfying because then I could parachute in and eavesdrop on this group's conversation or that group's conversation, and I didn't have to widen the vision to see the whole class at once.
Yeah, right. Well, it sounds like actually a natural way for a teacher to interact anyway. Drop in on a group that's talking.
That's right. Yeah, I do that in my own teaching anyway, and I was pleased that the technology enabled me to continue with some of the patterns of teaching that I'm familiar with and comfortable with that have worked for me before.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Any trouble with the technology itself? Was it difficult to set up? Was it difficult to use?
It just takes a little bit of learning to create a Skype account, but the Skype website itself is really, really helpful. It's pretty simple sort of stuff.
Right.
And the one other challenge is if you're trying this sort of approach, use a landline if at all possible.
Okay.
In one of the situations, I was using wireless, and at my end, I was receiving okay, but the students at the other end said that there were sometimes gaps or breaks in the transmission, and they said that was probably because the broadband width is not quite adequate.
With the wireless,
Yeah.
That would be troublesome, especially with the audio. Like, not so bad for the video breaking up a bit, but with the audio breaking up.
With the audio, yeah.
Okay.
Something that I'd like to try to move this forward a little bit, I know that Skype has a number of other capabilities, and Rob Keys, who works here at the Center for Teaching and Learning, has told me of some of them. And the one that I'd like to try next is that when you're video conferencing with your students, it's one-to-one, like one computer to one other computer.
Right.
But with audio, you can actually have a conversation with 25 other computers or 25 students, each with their own microphone.
Sure, yeah.
And so I'd like to see what that's like, to have say cut the video feed and go for the audio.
Yeah, because audio takes a lot less bandwidth, and that's the important. It's the important part.
That's the big issue, isn't it? The bandwidth.
The bandwidth, yeah.
Huh. The one thing that's a little bit strange about going to the audio only is that it's surprising how much we rely on vision.
That's true, yes,
on our site.
Yeah.
So there was a moment when we did cut the video feed and went to audio only, and I was talking with the students. I had them up and active doing something, and I couldn't see what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
I could hear a little bit what they were up to, but I couldn't see, and that was a little unnerving.
Yeah.
But maybe good for me.
Well, I suppose, yeah. How do the students feel about it? Do you know?
I've asked them since I got back into town, and they seemed overall pleased, and they seemed more pleased than they have been when a guest speaker has come in.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I think that they appreciated, something that I've learned is that the students really appreciate the continuity of their teacher, their instructor's presence in their class over the semester. They appreciate continuity if we can provide it.
Yeah, and you can, apparently.
With this sort of technology, you can, yes.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we just want to do a little short talk, so
Yeah.
that's nice to know. There we go. Dave's using Skype to teach and having some good results.
Yeah,
So,
and if you're needing a little bit of tech support, even for the fairly simple startup procedures, there are people here at the Center for Teaching and Learning who can help you just set up an account, just make sure that the audio and the video are in fact working. People here at CTL can help you with that.
well, thanks for the plug.
You're welcome.
And thank you very much, Dave.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, bye-bye.